Hi, my name is Miriam Wortel. I am the author of a book titled Lessons in Law of Attraction. For those unfamiliar, law of attraction is the concept that we think, feel, and believe creates our reality. So I'm one of the few that I feel like has been writing about this topic from a Jewish perspective. And coming in to Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, there are some things that I'd really like to share. Law of attraction stipulates that you get more of whatever you focus on. If you plant a seed of a positive and you plant a seed of a negative, your energy, what you focus on, is the decision of which seed you're actually going to water to sprout a beautiful plant or something that, or you want to plant like a weed, something negative in your life. And coming into Rosh Hashana this year, I think we all ready to change the paradigm. For the last, I don't know how many years, I think many of us have been looking at the world maybe not through the best lens. And certainly how we've looked through this year, how we've looked at this year. It's been a tough year, but always after a negative comes something positive. And I hope what I share in this message will help bring that about. So a little about me. I'm a Baal Tshuva. I'm someone who became religious. I'm someone who had, I'll say, a non-linear process, as most Baalei Tshuva do. I'm someone who's really been more interested in the spiritual rather than anything else. And when I was about 15 years old, had my first introduction to the more secular side of spirituality, and throughout my teenage years became religious, and now as an adult have spent a lot of time questioning things. I went through a lot in my life. Anyone who knows me knows that I've been through a lot. They know that I've cried in front of people publicly. I've been through more than I ever care to share. Baruch Hashem, I can report that my life's done a 180. And everything starts by changing what's on the inside. So the reason I wrote my book, Lessons in Law of Attraction, is because I wanted to give other people hope. What I didn't know is at the time I published the book, that was actually just the beginning, and that's why I'm working now on the sequel. But it's at least a starting point for others to really examine how they think about things and to become a conscious creator of their own reality. And really, when I say conscious creator, I mean conscious co-creator, because everything is in a partnership with Hashem. There's nothing that we do without God. Everything is always with God. So it's really understanding that. There are so many people who have been through so much sorrow, so much pain. I'm saying the English translations to words in case for any reason this gets to someone who isn't familiar with the Hebrew terminologies. So a lot of people are going through a lot. So many times people look up and they say, why me? They feel life's not fair. And it comes to the point where a lot of people start expecting negative. In my own journey, in my own perception, I was like that. I felt like I always got the short end of the stick. I felt life wasn't fair, and at times I wondered if God hated me. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. But there are times I definitely felt like that. There are times I questioned whether or not I had free will. There are times I literally screamed, I did not come into this world to suffer, because I went through that much emotional pain. And I know if I went through that much, other people must have been also going through a lot too. And this year, even with the craziness, I decided to change my own personal paradigm. And I want you to as well. Now, before I get into anything too specific, what I want to say is that if you're listening to this and you don't understand what I'm saying, it could be you're not meant to yet hear what I'm saying, and doesn't mean even in a week from now and a month from now you can't replay this and understand what I'm saying. I realize energetically we have to be in a certain place to understand the help that we are receiving. So there's something called the vibrational scale. You can picture it like an hourglass. And in this vibrational scale, the top part is all positive emotions, happiness, joy, contentment. Negative emotions, bottom half of the hourglass, fear, resentment, anger, despair. If someone is on that bottom half of the emotional scale, the bottom half of that hourglass, if the advice is coming from the top half, it actually won't be able to properly penetrate them. My advice is to listen to this in a happy moment, in a moment of encouragement, in a moment of hope, in something of positive emotion. Because you'll have the best chance of understanding what I'm saying. So, I learned about 2 years ago, I started learning that we create our own reality. I started learning about this thing called law of attraction. I went to a local rabbi and I said, I'm learning about this. Have you heard about this? And they said, oh yeah, there's something in Kabbalah about that. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, of course there was something of ours that, got marketed very well, right? And I started to research it more and more until I eventually became, I would say, proficient in understanding what law of attraction is and how it works. And it's something that's extremely complex and simple at the exact same time. And I'm going to try, for the purpose of this audio, keep this as simple as I can and also tie it in to the message of Rosh Hashana. So essentially, we always get more of what we think about and what we feel and our beliefs. And there's two basic components. One is our beliefs, which is both conscious and subconscious. And the subconscious it's really a lot of like what they call the inner child. So things that happened as a kid that may have stuck in our minds that, as I said, likely we're not conscious of, or at least not conscious. We may recall events, but not conscious necessarily of how, I'll say, the extent of and how they affected us, right? So there's those beliefs. And, well, I said it's two things. So it's a combination. So it's your beliefs, conscious and unconscious. Sorry, getting my words tied up. So it's conscious and subconscious, right? It's beliefs. Your perception, which is going to be based from that, right? And your ongoing, vibration, your energy, right? And your energy is not, well, your energy could be of the current moment. Your vibration is more than just the current moment. Meaning, if you're happy or sad, that will affect your vibration in a general level. So a person who is feeling, particularly the energy of fun is a very powerful energy, will attract lots of really great circumstances. So, if someone's to go on a job interview, it's really good to just go there and have fun and just to feel, as opposed to feeling nervous. They have definitely different attraction points, right? So there's what your current mood is, your current energy, but also a person's vibration, a person's energy. So if you want to, I like to think of it actually like almost like a tornado swirling inside you. There's all these energy things. So there's the general outer energy that's like your current mood, and then there's the inner energy, which are things like certain concepts swirling around your beliefs. And so it's really, again, that belief thing, but it will tie into your energy. So really those things actually commingle. And there people will say, okay, yeah, like there was the book The Secret, and people say, oh, ask, believe, receive. unless someone is incredibly simple-minded and baggage-free, it's not going to be that easy. Just letting you know, okay? Really, I believe law of attraction is a self-help tool, and it often gets marketed as, oh, hey, just visualize things, and, you know, then you can get a fancy car or a nice home and make lots of money, and, you know, manifest your soulmate and all this other stuff that they post about online. Yes, it can work for those kinds of things, but really what I think is more meaningful is that it can help your everyday life get better. It can turn you into a happy and positive person, and once you're a happy and positive person, good things will naturally be attracted to you. And I feel like for everyone right now, that's the dream, way more than the sports car, way more than the sports car or the fancy home. So to understand this, right, on a basic level, there's so many times people say things, and if we listen to how we speak, it's such an indicator for how we're really thinking. You know, when you go to spend money and you say the words, I can't afford that, not only are you saying that currently you don't have the assets in the bank to do that, you're saying that I have no faith that, you know, money could potentially come and put me into a better scenario, right? Now, you could logically say, okay, it's the here and now, but usually if you feel what you really feel inside, if you're going to be honest with yourself, it's something a little bit deeper. So, affirmations are words that we say that help the conscious and subconscious mind to help with this reprogramming, to help change our thoughts, to help change our beliefs. But whether or not we're saying an affirmation, you know, purposely as an affirmation, every word we speak is an affirmation, right? So if you say, it's hard to get a job, well, you just affirmed that. You just created that energy. Do you really want to create that for yourself, right? And for anyone wondering, does what I say or what I think make that much of a big deal? And the answer is, well, yes, it does, because literally that's our entire existence and our reality. The world was created through words and speaking, and when I found out that Hashem gave humans as much power as he did, I'm like, what? You have no idea the crazy, crazy things that come from what we speak, how we think, and how we feel, right? So please be very, very conscious of your words. So in my book, I have, you know, various tips of things you can do. But my point in all this is you can say all the positive affirmations that you want and whatever else, but if you don't really change that feeling in your heart, you're not really going to accomplish much. And the biggest thing that I've come to realize that's in what I'll call part 2 of my journey, so, you know, not in the first book, but will be in the second book, is really understanding things as follows. Law of attraction is essentially, Hashem holds up a giant mirror. And that mirror always tells you the exact truth. The words you hear back from people, the experiences you go through, every life event that occurs is somehow a mirror of you, meaning the outer world is a mirror of your inner world. So many times we have negative expectations that we're not even aware of. And a lot of times it's also how we view God. And deep down, I feel like there's a lot of people who are not viewing Hashem in the right way. I know, being a Baal Tshuva, that I've heard and felt many times like people were looking at Hashem from a place of din, judgment, instead of rachamim, mercy. And if everything we think and feel can manifest in a certain way, don't you think it's vitally important in how we view God? Now, I understand there are some of us who've been through a lot. And many people may have all kinds of reasons to feel all kinds of ways. In my personal journey, I realized that a lot of my own issues with God, my own issues with feeling that God was supporting my dreams, my desires, was because of my own inner wounds, my own experiences. And really, what I want to say is, it's always a journey, and everyone has their own time frame for that journey. Everyone has their own unique journey to go through. But what happens is, at the right time, when you feel led, you'll get there. But the bigger thing is, as we go through and get ready for Rosh Hashana, so as we get ready for Rosh Hashana, as we go through Rosh Hashana, as we head towards Yom Kippur, please keep in mind the following. 1, your world is about you. And only you. Don't focus on what the other person's doing. I don't care if this person's covering her hair, not covering her hair, if the guy's keeping as kosher as he could be, whatever it may be. Okay? Everything's between you and yourself and between you and God. And that's it. One of the biggest problems, by the way, is I think everyone's been in each other's business, and that needs to stop. But this Rosh Hashanah, learn to forgive yourself. Learn to be merciful with yourself. And as best as you can, try to think of Hashem from a place of rachamim.